Welcome to Your Region This Week. I'm Anandi Carol Woolery. In this episode, the province is strengthening supports for survivors of sexual violence through 2 trillium grants. A look at the local impact, and a Waterloo-based company takes aviation-inspired innovation to the water. But first, here's a look at the headlines. Neuron Mobility is bringing the first of its kind adaptive vehicle program to Waterloo Region. It will feature 4 adult tricycles and 2 hand cycles for those riders with mobility issues.
Everybody's abilities are different, and my arm strength was not quite enough to propel it myself, but it was really awesome to be able to sit on it and see what it would be like. And I love that Neuron is interested in making more modifications so that it's easier for more people to use. People like Councillor Roberts were able to use it without difficulty. Neuron is trying this pilot for free, and that anyone who wants to use it for the day can have it delivered to their home is really cool.
Yeah, so as of today, those with mobility issues are able to book online at www.rideneuron.com/adaptive. They can go to the online booking form today and go through the process to book a vehicle. It's very straightforward. You agree to the terms and conditions, select the time in which you're looking for a vehicle to be delivered, and our team will bring it to the address that you put into the form. So this is a bit of a different process. So this is specifically designed for people that might not be able to go down the street and find a bike or an e-scooter. It'll allow us to bring the service to you, and you'll be able to access one of our hand tricycles or one of our adult tricycles, depending on your needs.
Still with the roads, cyclists and pedestrians face daily dangers on roadways. That's according to a new study released by CAA. The 7-month study has uncovered over 600,000 near-miss incidents across 20 intersections across Canada, including intersections in Waterloo Region and Guelph.
I think that the data reveals, because we did compare what's called high and critical risk intersections against those that had lower and medium risk, is we did find some opportunities. Some things are easy fixes, like, programming your lights to have a pedestrian first signal, or putting in a left turning signal or a right turning signal for cars first before the pedestrians go. Trimming back, trees that might, cause problems with sight lines. Other things might be a little bit more difficult, and it might require more study. So there's opportunities to work with technology like this, put them in more of the intersections to get more real-time data. Yes, some of the data that we found and the near misses that were discovered did tell us some interesting stats. Right turns revealed the highest risk. Right turns in the case of pedestrians was responsible for 55% of near misses and 50% with cyclists. Left turns then were a little bit further behind, with 34% near misses with pedestrians and 36% near misses with cyclists. So all in all, over 90% of turning left or right are involved in these near miss collisions. I think it's also a good reminder for the people who are using the road system to think about their behaviors, think about the things that they can do. We don't want to blame anyone. People make mistakes, whether it's someone crossing on a red or a motorist running the yellow thinking they can make it, and then it's a red and the pedestrian signals have started. So we all have a role to play in the safe systems approach. There's things we can do to fix some of the intersections to an extent. Part of it is also we individually also have an opportunity to be safe.
City of Waterloo honors National Indigenous Peoples Day with new artwork in Waterloo's public square.
Hello, my name is Maddie. I'm a mixed Algonquin, Two-Spirit, Bear Clan artist based in Kitchener, Ontario. My maternal family comes from Algonquin, Mi'kmaq First Nation, and Kitigan-Ziipi Anishinaabe First Nation. I grew up in Kitchener-Waterloo. I've been here my whole life. The design process looked a little bit different this year. For the past 2 years that I've been fortunate enough to design the mural for Waterloo Public Square, I have painted the mural directly onto the concrete in the square. This year we decided to try something new. So I'm a digital artist as well, and I designed an illustration that is actually going to be printed on vinyl and applied to the square. The main theme behind the piece, which can be viewed and interpreted in a number of different ways, which is the beauty of art. But the main theme that I was kind of motivated by was that of connection. Connection to ourselves, to our fellow two-leggeds, the humans, to the rest of nature, to the fish and the animals and the trees and the sky beings, the lightning and the birds and the rain, all of what is necessary to create and sustain life. It requires balance, it requires diversity, it requires empathy and openness.
And recently, the Region of Waterloo International Airport installed 3 large-scale murals in the Domestic Arrivals building as part of the Honoring These Lands and Waters Way. These murals were created by Indigenous artists from Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and urban Indigenous communities. Coming up, investing in support. SAS is the recipient of 2 provincial grants. Details after the break.
In baseball, there's nothing more important than making it home.
George Springer has tied the game.
Doesn't matter how you get there.
It's gone!
But I do it with style.
Boy, has he got some kind of power.
And a little swagger, too.
Because no matter where you happen to be,
Oh, what a play!
There's only one place.
Got it!
Jays fans call home.
Sportsnet. Sportsnet.
Sportsnet.
Sportsnet, home of the Blue Jays.
As I looked upon the battlefield in front of me, a German star shell lit up the desolate landscape. I watched as a bullet smashed through the bridge of my nose and left me to the mercy of the darkness. I worried I would be dependent on others for the rest of my life. But Sir Arthur Pearson and the staff of St. Dunstan's had other plans. With their help, I knew I could be self-reliant, and I wanted to bring this idea home to Canada. I wanted Canadians to know that we could hold jobs, that we could contribute, that regardless of sight, all would read, that we, the blind, would shape our own lives, our own destiny.
Blinded by a sniper's bullet in 1915, Edwin A. Baker went on to co-found the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, shaping a path forward for the blind across Canada for generations to come.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more.
Sexual Assault Support Center of Waterloo Region is launching 2 new initiatives thanks to provincial grants.
The first grant is a 2-year grant that we've used to address the long waiting list that survivors of sexual violence have to endure in order to access free counseling here at our center. And then the second grant that we received is 1-year funding to develop an online digital platform where they can receive free consent education. and learn more about healthy relationships, healthy masculinities, and how to stay safe. So the website is currently in development, but it's going to be an online platform that's going to be fun and engaging for young people. We really want to prevent sexual violence before it happens. That's our mission, really, is to live in a world free of sexual and gender-based violence. And we know that that starts with young people and getting the right information to them. And we know that where are young people? They're online. And so by having an accessible, fun, engaging platform where they can learn about healthy relationships, consent, supporting someone in their life who may be experiencing gender-based violence, giving really them the tools and the skills and the content that engages them in protecting themselves, supporting someone that they care for, and really ending the cycle of gender-based violence. So about 2 years ago, our wait list was more than 300 survivors waiting to access free counseling here at our center. It was the highest it's ever been in the last 35 years, and we really were at a crisis point. Other centers actually made the difficult decision to close their intake program just in order to catch up with the really high demand that we were seeing in the community. We reached out to Trillium and put this proposal to them that we wanted to redesign our intake process so that we could provide more support to people while they were waiting. So we created a new pre-counseling group for people so they could get some support while they're waiting. We provided more intake counseling so that people could be stabilized if they needed help with reporting to the police or going to the hospital. We could be there for them in that moment and really address any of those needs that they have immediately while they're waiting for counseling. And then thanks to some really generous donors from the community, we were able to grow our counseling team so that we could have more sessions available. And I'm really proud to be able to share that over the past 2 years, our counseling waiting list went from 300 down to 30 today.
Oh, wow.
And so more than a 90% decrease with this restructuring and the additional support from the community. We've really been able to get a handle so that survivors aren't waiting for the care that they deserve. There were a number of factors, and so there was sort of the rise of the Me Too movement that kind of permeated across the country, across the world, really, right? Where more and more survivors realized that they could come forward. They felt more comfortable acknowledging the harm that had happened to them and really reaching out for help for that first time. They realized they weren't alone in this experience and that they deserved to get the help that they needed in order to move forward with their lives. And so that's when we started to see it creep up and up and up. And then during the pandemic, we know that gender-based violence just exploded. Intimate partner violence, as well as sexual violence, human trafficking, all of those were impacted by the isolation and the stress and all of the issues that happened in that pandemic. And so again, it went up and kept creeping up and creeping up. And then we got to that point 2 years ago where we were like, what are we doing? People are waiting 1.5 years, 2 years to get counseling after reaching out, taking that brave step to call and say, I need help, and then having to wait. That's not what we're about. We're here to support survivors today. And so we knew we had to change. And by reaching out to the community, letting our donors know how much we rely on their support and their donations to ensure that those survivors get the care that they need. And thankfully, the Ontario Trillium Foundation, they stepped up and invested in us at that time. So we have a 24-hour support line as well as online chat where if survivors aren't sure, it's an anonymous service. People can reach out and ask for help, and they can speak to one of our volunteers. Our volunteer can walk them through the services that we offer. If they are considering reporting to police, we have a legal advocate program, so they don't have to do that by themselves. We have a relationship with the Waterloo Regional Police Service where we can help facilitate those interviews and even attend the interview with them so that they're not alone. We can help them if they need to go to the hospital to get any care or to collect evidence. We can support them in that as well. So the first step would be to reach out to our 24-hour support line or our online chat. All of the intakes to our programs are available on our website. All of our services are free. I think it's important for people to realize that as a charity, we exist because of the generosity of our community. Our doors are open today because of the donors and the community members and the funders here who support our work. We could not do this work without the support of our community.
Stay connected with City News Kitchener. You will find what's making headlines here at home and around the world. Looking for traffic and weather information, plus the latest prices at the pumps? Click on the tabs to find out. Watch, listen, stay connected with City News Kitchener.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Good news, Rogers customers. Disney Plus is now included in select TV plans at no additional cost. With Disney Plus, you can enjoy exclusive movies and shows like Andor.
They're building a weapon.
Welcome to the rebellion. Vanderpump Villa.
I've chosen this magnificent Italian castle.
And No Taste Like Home.
I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
Rogers Xfinity customers say activate Disney Plus into your voice remote to learn more.
Personal finance show that dares to ask those money questions you've always wanted to. Join Mike Bregueth when he talks with experts on all aspects of money. Money Matters with Mike Bregueth, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
It's becoming the Royal City's signature event to kick off the summer. The Good Games returns to the University of Guelph for a weekend full of sport, entertainment, and family.
So hard to explain what the Good Games are because they're something that really haven't been done before. It's a sports festival. It's like an Olympic-style celebration of sport. We have two parts to it. We have an athlete competition, which is for adults, but the biggest part is the Festival of Sport. And it's for everybody. It's free to attend, free parking, and I always say it's like a smorgasbord of sport out there. You can come try as many sports as you want. There's lots of interactive zones. You can watch a lot of sports. We have athletes coming from the Philippines, France, Brazil, Mexico. We have Olympians and pros playing on an Olympic beach volleyball court. But in and around the festival, there's just so much to do. I mean, you could just sit there and watch some of these competitions happening, or you can pick up a bat and try cricket, or you can try curling, or you can learn a little bit of martial arts. Partnership with the Indigenous Sport and Wellness Council, we do Indigenous activation, sports activations, learn to play the Creators game or lacrosse. This year we have some really, really cool additions. We have freestyle trampoline, which is in the X Games next year, which is a very good one people might want to watch. We have the Super Dogs, which everybody must love because they're dogs. We have rope skipping again, everybody loved. We have roller derby this year. We have, gosh, just you name it. Really, there's just so much to see, to do, to experience. We have music, we have food trucks, you know, the vibe is there. It's probably like a festival nobody's ever seen before. You know, the one thing about our event, sometimes people think it's, you know, maybe not for their family. It's actually the most family-friendly festival out there. We have face painting for kids. We have balloons for kids. We have an inflatable obstacle course. We have a new Dora Bouncy Castle this year. We have inflatable games, tons of games for kids to play and to the entire family to be entertained and try. It really, truly is a free family festival full of a ton of activities and events you can enjoy or watch. The festival runs from Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sunday, June 29th from 10 a.m. to about 6 p.m. I promise anybody that comes, they're never going to want to leave. It's probably the most unique, special festival in Canada.
In sports, the Tee It Up Tour is returning this summer with 6 stops, including Elmira Golf Club and the Cambridge Golf Club. The qualifying round takes place on July 2nd at Puslinch.
The only not-for-profit tour in the area. All the funds that from registration fees go back to the players. The friendships that are formed, we're seeing the juniors come back, wanting to volunteer back on the tour, which is fantastic. We're really excited about that. And we're having juniors, join the tour at 11, 12, 13 years old. We've gotten to a point with this tour where October, I make a phone call to several different golf courses, and the directors of golf and owners at those clubs, they're jumping on it. They're like, yep, what can we do? How can we be involved? What do you need from us? It's not a tough sell to get golf courses to allow us to come on the tour anymore. They know what we're about. They know what it takes to run the tour. They know we're willing to put the time and effort in. And to have these clubs immediately say yes when we say, hey, can we come to your place and on any given day throughout the summer, and they're willing to have 60 to 70 players out there on the tour. It's special. You're doing something right, and other owners and golf professionals are buying in when they're jumping at the opportunity to be part of it. I thoroughly enjoy running the tour. I love being part of it. Carla's been involved for a long time. Don Tillman's been involved for an even longer period of time. But when I was a junior golfer, when Carla was a junior golfer, somebody was doing it for us. There was, the old Wilson Tour and the old Spalding Tour, and down in the Hamilton area where I grew up, it's the old AccuForm Tour. There was golf pros, there was parents volunteering their time, putting the work in to give these juniors a place to play. And it ultimately worked out for me with ownership at Cambridge Golf Club, turned professional when I was 19, all of those things. So I love being involved because I love when the alumni are then calling us, hey, what can I do? What can I get involved? How can I help out? Danica Miller used to play in the tour. She gives back. She's at every event. She runs our socials. Anytime anybody wants to help out. So to stay involved, been in the industry for a long, long time, over 40 years, and to have the ability or the place for juniors to play on a fun yet competitive tour is the reason I continue to do it.
Still ahead, flying above the water. A Waterloo-based startup is using advanced technology to invent a zero-emission electric boat.
Hi, I'm Mike Farwell, and I'd like to invite you into this studio every weekday from 9 until 1 for a show that I think you're going to like. It's called The Mike Farwell Show, and it deals with the issues of the day. Local, provincial, national, even international. You'll hear from the newsmakers, and you'll get the chance to make news yourself when you call in and share your opinion. If you want to know what's going on in your community, The Mike Farwell Show is the place to find out.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Leonard Thompson, 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live? The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting,
this could be it.
He's the first to receive this trial.
But will it save him?
It's not pure enough.
So we try again. And again. And again.
Before the discovery of insulin, diabetes was a death sentence.
Banting, Best, Collop, and McLeod's breakthrough has saved millions of lives. Leonard Thompson's was the first.
Finally, for us, taking advanced technology and developing an aviation-inspired boat. The electric boat flies above the water using advanced hydrofoiling technology.
This started with my passion for being on the water. And, I've had the family cottage up in the Kawarthas for as long as I've been around. And after my last venture, where I was one of the co-founders at Arion Labs, we started with tech entrepreneurship, commercializing drone tech really early out of the University of Waterloo. Had a successful exit from that in 2019. Had a bit of time to get back to the cottage life, wanted to get out on the water, and just felt this huge disconnect between that clean tech experience that we now have in the automotive space. Driving EVs, I never go to the gas station, I never have to change my oil. Found myself wanting to get out on the water at the lake, and now I'm driving my EV to the gas station to buy gas for the boat. Right. I need to do an oil change. And I said, why don't we have the same thing happening in boating that we do in automotive, where everything is clean tech, we're not polluting the environment, especially when we're out on that crystal clear lake, and we're seeing people emitting gas and oil into the lake whenever anybody's filling up their boat with a jerry can. You get this oil slick at the end of the dock. Yes. And I wanted to solve that. And I really saw this awesome opportunity to take some of the experience that we had from the drone space, the engineering and the development there, which translates directly into the marine space, where we can build clean tech solutions, bring the experience that we had there for a better experience for boating, and really to look after the environment as well. So we've been working at this for about 5 years in the marine space, but really building a lot on the last 20 years of experience that we've had from electrification and flight control in the drone space. The intersection there really came from my understanding that when we got into marine electrification, and the reason that only about 2% of boats today are electric is because it takes so much power to push a boat through the water compared to driving a car down the road. So just replacing the drivetrain, which would be fairly straightforward, and you can put an electric outboard on your boat, doesn't give very good performance because you end up with really limited range, limited speed because it takes so much power. And it was that intersection of the decades of experience that we had in the drone space and understanding flight control, performance, optimization, building a boat which could fly over the surface of the water with a hydrofoil is really the innovation that we're bringing here. And that's been in the works for decades. I really feel like that hydrofoiling high performance boat is really going to reset the expectations of what electric can be on the water. It's better in every dimension.
That's our show for this edition of Your Region This Week. Thanks for watching. I'm Anandi Karawolleri. See you next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Good afternoon, this is your captain speaking.
You have no idea where in the world you really are.
Wow.
No map, no plan, no clue. This is Destination X. Well, this ought to be fun. Oh, it's open.
Austria.
All you have to do to win is answer one simple question. Where the X am I?
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university. So,